The Ram 1500 is undoubtedly amongst the most loved pickup trucks in the US, thanks to its glorious interior, phenomenal comfort, as well as generally classy styling and solid capability. However, as much as we love the Ram 1500, especially after this year's redesign, we have to say that it unfortunately has its fair share of issues, some of which might be a deal breaker for some. Let's see if these problems might make or break Stellantis' pickup truck, as we look at 6 reasons why you should avoid the Ram 1500. Number 6. The Hemi V8 is history. Let's address the elephant in the room. Stellantis has decided to discontinue the Hemi V8 once and for all. Now, we all knew that this fate was sealed for Dodge's muscle cars. However, we still expected the V8 to live on in the Ram 1500, as it was its companion for multiple decades. Unfortunately, for the 2025 model year, this is no longer the case, as Ram decided to completely drop this legendary unit and not look back. In its stead, Ram introduced a 3.0-liter Hurricane 6 engine, which pushes out 420 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Now sure, these figures are impressive on paper, but to be honest with us, do you want a 3.0 under the hood of your premium, pure-blooded American pickup truck? Yeah, neither do we. And neither do most Americans. You see, despite offering more potent V6 engines, the Ford F-150 is still extremely popular with its 5.0 Coyote V8, despite its downfalls. Simply put, a naturally aspirated V8 engine offers far more reassurance and a far longer lifespan than a wound-up twin-turbo 6-cylinder ever could. And this was especially true for the Hemi V8, which was practically perfected over the years. And you know what's the worst part? The Pentastar V6, the engine that most of us were crying to be replaced due to how dreary and slow it was, remains the base power plant. The V8 should have persisted, at least for a couple more years, if for nothing else than just to rival the F-150 and the Silverado, both of which still haven't given up on the respective V8s. Essentially, Stellantis should have kept the V8 and slowly phased it out with the Hurricane 6, and not just violently rid us of one of their most beloved powertrains and replace it with one that is highly controversial. And apart from our feelings, a key bit of Ram 1500's performance was also hurt. Number 5. Towing capacity is mediocre. You see, because Ram switched from a V8 to an inline-6, the 1500 lost quite a lot of its towing prowess. Now, don't get us wrong, the Ram 1500 was never a towing monster per se, as its coil spring suspension reduced towing capacity in favor of comfort. However, it could at least compete with its rivals in this regard, as the Ram 1500's maximum towing capacity used to be 12,750 pounds, which, albeit not range-topping, was still pretty good. Now, the towing capacity has been reduced to 11,580 pounds, which is significantly less than its rivals. Both the Chevy Silverado and the F-150 can tow up to 13,000 pounds, which is a drastic difference. Now, some of you might be wondering why this was done. Well, it's because Stellantis wants you to go out of your way and buy the Ram 1500 Ramcharger, which is an EV with the Pentastar V6 fitted under the hood as a range extender. Honestly, we cannot fathom what's the point of offering a more complex power plant that's less potent. And we also cannot understand why anybody would pay tens of thousands of dollars more for an even more complicated vehicle that is just barely more capable than any of its rivals. We understand why Stellantis would do that. A complex vehicle means more issues. More issues equal more repairs. And constant repairs translate to Stellantis earning a load of money by making spare parts. That brings us to the next issue with the Ram 1500. Number 4. Typical Stellantis reliability. Let's be straight here. Nobody takes Stellantis seriously anymore when it comes down to reliability. During FCA, these products at least had an ounce of quality control within them, but ever since FCA merged with PSA, it seems like both companies lost any kind of idea of quality and respect towards their customers. The Ram 1500 is a prime example of this. For example, the multi-link rear suspension is far more prone to failing than the regular old leaf springs on the Ram 1500's rivals, because it's a far more complex and, well, not exactly well thought out design in terms of durability. Specifically, Ball joints tend to wear down much quicker than one would expect from a pickup truck of this caliber. In addition to that, there are also coolant leak issues, which are all a result of either a faulty radiator cap, water pump, or thermostat gasket, as well as the tendency of the engine to mix oil and coolant and practically grenading itself. And these issues were all present on the old version of the truck. The redesigned model, with its Hurricane 6 engine, is yet to prove itself. However, considering how much more complicated they are to the Pentastar V6 and the Hemi V8, we would expect it to be even more problematic in this regard. And these aren't even the only problems. The Ram 1500, like all other Stellantis vehicles, is known for its constant electrical gremlins, as well as an interior that, albeit beautiful, tends to wear down prematurely. Speaking of the inside, number 3, beautiful but dated interior. We hate the fact that we have to bash the interior. In our opinion, the Ram 1500's interior looks like a pickup truck interior should look like, and it feels even better. Sure, the pre-facelifted models have issues with premature wear, as previously mentioned. However, this was all fixed with the redesign. Unfortunately, as good-looking as it is, the interior layout has become incredibly dated, and there's no avoiding it. Both the pre-facelift and the facelift models suffer from this issue. Just look at how cluttered the center console and the center of the dashboard are. It's just so full of buttons, and everything feels so unergonomic, with most controls being fitted to the lower portion of the screen. And the screen itself is very problematic too. First, the vertical layout is problematic to operate and keep track of, as it practically requires you to take your eyes off the road. In addition to that, the software isn't the best, as it has been noted by some owners that it can lag from time to time. In addition to that, it is confusing to use too. While the software has gotten updated with the redesign, unfortunately, the layout not just remained the same, but with the introduction of the new 14.5-inch display, most of the buttons at the lower end of the dashboard have been moved to the infotainment, which is a catastrophic solution to an already big problem that only deepens it. Overall, the Ram 1500's interior should have been thoroughly redesigned, and not just touched up. Ram should have done something like the Silverado, as that truck went from being the most dated in the class to the most modern in terms of interior layout and tech. Number 2. Bye TRX. This is just a catastrophe. The Ram 1500 TRX was simply a staple of the Ram 1500 lineup, and it was by far one of the most beloved pickup trucks of all time, as well as the most powerful internal combustion pickup truck ever built. Be honest here, you might not have aspired to buy one, but you've most certainly admired the TRX for what it was, an ostentatious, opulent but still incredibly powerful vehicle. Well, you can kiss it goodbye now. It's gone. Forever. In its stead, we've got the Ram 1500 RHO, which utilizes a high-output 540 horsepower Hurricane 6 engine. And while the RHO is immensely capable, it is nowhere near as impressive as the monstrous TRX. In addition, the pricing also shows that the RHO isn't exactly the replacement for the TRX, as it costs some $20,000 less, starting from $80-ish thousand, which is $20,000 to $40,000 less than its quoted predecessor. But as heartbreaking as this is, the lack of a design performance version isn't the Ram 1500's key problem. None of these issues are, as its core problem lies in the existence of a completely different pickup truck that dominates it through and through. Number 1. The Ram 2500 exists. Yes, the biggest issue for the Ram 1500 is the fact that its bigger brother exists. You see, with the constant rise in popularity of full-size pickup trucks, their price has started rising incredibly rapidly, which brought them perilously close to heavy-duty pickup trucks. Honestly, why would anybody buy a Ram 1500 with a Pentastar V6 engine for $43,000 when an equally equipped Ram 2500 with a Hemi V8 engine, which is also far more powerful than the one that was used in the old Ram 1500, exists for only $3,000 more? In addition to that, if you need a workhorse truck, you'll hardly find a vehicle that is more competent than a proper heavy-duty truck, especially when outfitted with a diesel engine like the 6.7-liter Cummins diesel. Now sure, both engines drink a bit more fuel than the Ram 1500, but if fuel is your concern, Then, do you really need a full-size pickup truck at all? Truth be told, this isn't Ram 1500's only problem. The same issue is true for all full-size pickup trucks, as Ford and Chevy have also confirmed that their heavy-duty pickup trucks are currently selling better than ever, while their full-size pickup truck sales have dropped a bit.